Welcome to the rest of my life. I'm Lance Ash, and I'm so happy you could be with me at this indefinite moment in time. All right, heading back to work after a 3-day weekend. Oh, I got it from my eye. All right, the reason I had a 3-day weekend is because Thursday I had a dentist appointment at about 2 in the afternoon, so there's no way I could go to that, come back, get enough sleep to go to work. Just a convenient excuse to skip work. So that's the first topic on the list, is the dentist. Now, I was raised by two people who were very diligent about teeth, very concerned about going to the dentist and taking care of your teeth properly. So my sister and I went to the dentist twice a year, consistently, as children. And we both had braces and the whole bit. Well, anyway, we went to the same dentist for years and years and years and years. And when I got married, my wife started going to that dentist. But first blow that happened was he retired and sold the practice to another guy. No big deal. A few changes, a few cosmetic changes to the waiting room and so forth. But the really big deal was when you become an adult with adult responsibilities, there are more financial obligations laid upon you, so that certain things have to go by the wayside. And about 5 years ago, I just determined I couldn't afford to go to the dentist anymore. I figured, well, I'm taking care of my teeth. I floss regularly. I'm one of the few people. I'm one of those oddities among the American populace that doesn't that does floss regularly every day. Insurance just doesn't cover everything it's supposed to cover. So I hadn't been to the dentist in I would say about 5 years. Maybe it wasn't quite that long. But anyway, several months ago, I was eating a piece of homemade bread with a really tough crust on it, and I felt something go funny between my bottom front teeth, and I thought a piece of crust had gotten lodged between the teeth, but no, what had happened was a piece of tartar had become dislodged, so there was a gap. And when I went to deal with this in the bathroom mirror, I could see this great chunk missing from the buildup inside the back of my bottom front teeth. So I thought, okay, it's time to go to the dentist. And I'd wanted to go for a while anyway, because I wanted my teeth to be a little bit brighter, a little bit whiter. So couldn't afford to go to the guy we'd been going to see. So made an appointment to go see this new guy. So I went by myself. Appointment was at 2 Thursday afternoon, and it's the practice is in an old house, been converted, and so I go in. There's nobody there but me and a couple of people that work there. And the first thing that I thought was nice was that the waiting room had no television in it. I thought, okay, and no music playing overhead either. Okay, I like that. But when they take me back to the room, instead of, as in the old days, motivational posters on the ceiling over your head, they had a little TV high up in the corner. And it's playing one of these music station things. I really don't know how else to describe it. And It's like they play a certain genre of music. You select the genre, and they play it song by song, but they have pictures of the artist along with flashes of trivia about the artist up on the screen. When I sat down, they were playing Elvis, Suspicious Minds. And then it unfolded that this was actually a country station. I don't know how, I guess Elvis is, broadly speaking, included in the country community. But they're playing all this old shit. Satin Sheets, The Highwaymen, oh God, there were some other ones I haven't heard in years. And people I'd never heard of before. Cal Smith, I never heard of this guy. So anyway, I thought that was a little stupid. Not that irritating, because once she started to do the cleaning, I couldn't hear anything anyway. But it was nice, and I'll tell you this, when I got done, the back of my teeth felt totally different. You could feel every single tooth with your tongue. It's a separate thing. And she said, you got a lot of tartar buildup here because you haven't been cleaned in a long time. But because you've been a regular flosser, it's not nearly as bad as it could have been. So I've got to go back in 6 months. And from what with my regular insurance and then my additional dental insurance on top of that, I didn't pay anything, which I was stunned to hear that. Okay, what's next on the list here? Let me mark this damn piece of paper out. I can't read anything. Oh, all right. So, we've had a problem for a couple of years in the house with the exhaust fan over the toilet in our bathroom leaking when it rains. There's a leak somewhere up in the ceiling, up in the roof. And I've gone up there time and time again, laid down more and more tar, and every time it seems to work for a while, but then it starts to leak again. So like I said, I think last week, had the roofer over, and he wanted $1,900 to do some work. Well, I decided, no, that's not going to cut it. So, this time I thought, well, I'll remove the cover over the exhaust fan, and I'll squirt a whole can of spray foam up in there. Well, once I got the cover off, I realized I could just disconnect the fan and remove it, and then see what's up above there. Well, when I got the fan out, I realized there's no way I can squirt any spray foam up in there, because it's solid. All there is like a tunnel for the air to go out, and all the foam is going to do is block up that tunnel. So I decided, well, what we'll do is we'll wait until it rains again, and if it leaks, then we'll know where the leak is coming from, and we'll know what to do. But there's all this water stain around around the edge of the fan up on the ceiling. So I thought, okay, well, this is our chance. We'll got a can of Kills, and I'll paint all that. At least it'll cover that up. Okay, well, on the wall next to the toilet are a bunch of shelves with all this. The theme is Japan, and there's a bunch of Japanese little statues and trinkets and stuff. And so we tacked a sheet up over that, and then over the toilet, and I stood on a chair and painted. All that was fine. But when it came time to remove the sheet, I knocked two of the things off, and they smashed on the floor, and I was furious. I was furious for two reasons. I was furious at myself for being so clumsy, and I was upset that my I thought maybe I'd really angered my wife. So it was a lot of tension, and I just, you know, you'd think I would have matured enough by now to have be able to control my emotions. But my wife and I played Scrabble to try to calm down. She wasn't nearly as upset as I was. But we played Scrabble, which we haven't done in a long time. Alright, now, next on the list of shit to talk about. What do we got here? So yesterday, I was still feeling really guilty about all this. So the next morning when she got up, I said, listen, I got an idea. How about we go out together and I'll get a haircut and then I'll take you out to eat. Now, I haven't had my hair cut by a professional in 2 years. My wife's been cutting it. So I got a really short haircut. Looks really good. And then we ate, or well, actually before we ate, this is what we did. I said, well, what do you want to do? You know, we don't have to go back home just yet. So we went to the Georgia Museum of Art, which is part of the University of Georgia. And it's a really nice museum. They have a permanent collection, which is a bunch of crap, and they have a couple of rooms dedicated to the same shit every time. I wish they'd rotate that stuff out. But sometimes they have traveling exhibits, stuff that's going around the country, bouncing around. And they had two. We knew about the one was Renaissance art. I'm not a big fan of Renaissance art. I think it's clumsy and stiff. So I thought, you know what, it'll be fun just to go anyway. So we go and we look at it, and it's, you know, it's no big deal. But they had another exhibit, which I didn't know was going to be there, and it was all prints from some guy's collection he had donated to the museum, and I thought they were fabulous. It was prints from different artists from the 1910s up to the 40s, maybe a little later than that. But these just simple prints on paper moved me more than the Renaissance stuff. So, of course, my wife and I get home and we're like, oh, we need to really get into printmaking. So I'd love for us to take a class in that, but I don't know when we're going to have the time to do that. Then afterwards, after the museum, we went to this place that's been famous in Athens for years called the Taco Stand. Ate like a pig. It's fabulous. I went out alone. It must have been the day that I went to the dentist. Anyway, coming back home, I saw a bag in the middle of the road on the other side of the road. I thought it might be a purse, you know, stuffed with cash. So go back and pick it up, and it's a computer bag, a laptop bag. And except for being damp, it was perfectly good condition. So I came home and dried it out. I thought about swapping it out for my regular book bag, but it's just not conducive to that. And there was nothing in it but an index card with some numbers on it. Alright. I like the band Throwing Muses. And my favorite album by them is University. And I've got 3 or 4 others by them. Limbo, which I'm very familiar with, but I got two or three others that I'm not that familiar with, and one of them is the real Ramona. So I am trying to get into it in the way that I've often, or not that often, but the way I would get into albums in the past of unfamiliar material. Slowly. I'll give you an example. When Metallica's Black Album came out, first song on the album is Enter Sandman. Good. Like it. Okay, what's the next one? Listen to it, then go back to the beginning. Slowly worked my way through it over the course of a couple of weeks. Because sometimes listening to an album in its entirety, especially if it's new, unfamiliar, it's hard to, I don't know, I'm odd, but I can't, if it doesn't grab me immediately, if it's not like candy, I can't take listening to it all at once. Slowly work your way through it. First song, start over. First song, second song, start over. First song, second song, third song, start over. So that's what I'm doing with this, because I want to like it. It's pretty good, actually. Kristen Hirsch she's really something. When you listen, the real Ramona is much more rock than the stuff on University. And apparently that's her playing the guitar, and she's really amazing. She's really good. And yes, I'm saying that because she's a woman. You rarely get a woman who plays rock guitar that way. But I've got 3 of her solo records, and I just don't think much of them, to be honest. It's just, I don't know. It's too gentle. I've got a Tanya Donnelly solo record too, and her voice is so thin and whisper weak. It can't compete with the instruments. Her work on Belly is fine though. Super Connected should have been a big hit. Oh, I can't see a thing. Oh my God. I slept so hard today. Sorry, I have no interesting stories this week. NPR has some sort of one of its many different programs. One of them is recordings of people telling true stories in front of a live audience. I don't know if these people are professional comedians or what, but they're getting a big reaction. I'm trying to think if I could do that, because my true stories, I don't know. First of all, they wouldn't last but 2 minutes. Wouldn't take but 2 minutes to tell. And second, I don't know if they would get that kind of response. I'll tell you this, if the U.S. and the West in general goes along with the partition of Ukraine, I'm done. I'm done. I'll vote for some obscure third party from here on out. I can see them doing it though. Well, hold on a second. Alright, I suppose that's all there is to say. Oh, I'll tell you one more thing. So I'm working my way through all the episodes of all 3 seasons of The Mighty Boosh. And it's fun and it's great. But then you start to realize that Noel Fielding and Julian Barrett aren't joined at the hip. And they've gone off and done separate things. And it's kind of like when you realize that the 6 guys in Monty Python, well, actually the 6 guys in Monty Python, I think are more tightly knitted together than the 2 guys in The Mighty Boosh. And I watched a little piece of Noel Fielding's luxury comedy show, and I just thought it was such a tepid rehash. I don't know. It's disappointing. It really is. It's like in the 60s when the James Bond movies first started. All these reporters made the amateur mistake of mistaking Sean Connery himself for the character, and that really got under his skin quickly. I think that's one of the reasons he quit the role, and we're so desperate to get out of it. And it's like everything, you know. I make the mistake all the time of liking some program, some actor, some artist, and slowly starting to identify with them, and then you discover it's like everything else in life. It's a facade. It's a cloak that they put on, you know? All right. Well, back to work, back to the suffering and pain. All right. Bye.